Hi everyone, this is Mike Lewandowski coming to you today with another video. Today's featured saint is actually not yet a saint at all, but is a venerable. I'll explain what that means at the very end of the presentation. But today's featured venerable is Carlo Acutis. And information on Carlo comes to us today from the Catholic News Agency, from Rome Reports, and from Saints in 7. Carlo was born on May 3rd, 1991 in London. His parents, though, were natives of Milan and soon returned to that city. At the age of 4, when his mother would take him on walks, he wanted to go visit one of the local churches. He wanted to visit Jesus. And he would also many times bring flowers to the image of the Virgin Mary. And this absolutely shocked his parents, not simply because this was a 4-year-old child, but because they themselves were not practicing Catholics. And he showed such of an intensity of devotion. And in fact, he only grew stronger in his faith. He would go to daily mass. He would pray the rosary. He would frequent the sacrament of reconciliation. In fact, he even kept a journal about his behavior so that he can know where in his life that he needed improvement. And one of the things he said, one of the powerful quotes he said, is this. He said, "What does it matter that you could win 1,000 battles and not conquer your own corrupt passions?" Carlo realized that oftentimes the biggest battle or battles that we will have in life will be with ourself and our desires. So he very much strived for self-mastery. Carlo also was in love with the Eucharist. He called the Eucharist his highway to heaven. And he believed that if people truly understood that the Eucharist is the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ, that would transform their lives. His mother did eventually come back to the church, and Carlo would accompany her when she went to go teach catechism. She became a volunteer catechist. And many people realized how unique Carlo was, and they would tell his mother that they believed that God had very special plans for him. Another thing that him and his mother would do is that they would help serve the poor of Milan. So they would bring blankets or sleeping bags and food to those that were in need. Carlo also had a profound love for technology. He also had a gift for it. In fact, at a young age, he created his own website. And this website was dedicated to cataloging the various Eucharistic miracles from around the world. And Carlo was also able to visit some of these famous sites. Carlos, though, sadly would not live a long life. He would be diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 15. And he would suffer greatly, and he offered up his suffering for the Holy Father, for the Pope, and for the church at large. And finally, on October 12th, 2006, Carlo passed away. But before he died, he promised his mother that he would give her signs that he was in the presence of God. And one of those signs came when his mother was 44, and this was on the 4th anniversary of his death. The 4th anniversary of his death, his mother gave birth to twins. Carlo had been her only child, and she took this as a sign that Carlo was indeed with God. Carlo will be beatified this October, and what that means is that he will go from being a venerable to a blessed, and a blessed is the final step before canonization. Now, in order to be a blessed, there has to be a miracle attributed to you that is unexplained by science. And that miracle came to a young Brazilian child who was cured of a rare anomaly of his pancreas by the intercession of Carlo. And so I leave you with this final quote by Carlo. He said that all people are born originals, but many end their lives as photocopies. We're all originals. We're all called to be saints. Let us answer that call and fall in love with Christ and be faithful to his church. Thank you for listening to these videos, and I will be back in the fall with some more. Have a great summer.